Live on YouTube and Google+, it's Pageant Live. This is the place for glamour and style. Get great pageant tips you won't find anywhere else. Find out what you need to know before your next pageant. Post your questions and comments for our panel during the show. Learn great ideas about all aspects of pageantry. Here we go. Pageant Live starts right now.
I am Stephanie McGrain, International Super Ms., and I'm excited that you're joining us for Pageant Live this evening. Now, tonight's show is what you need to know before you compete. And I got a lot of feedback on this, that it was a much-needed topic for our viewers. And we have a fabulous panel of guests this evening, excited to share their knowledge with you. But before we get started introducing our guests, I want to thank our sponsor this evening, Pageant Papery. Be sure to check out Pageant Live's website, and you'll find information on Pageant Papery, and that's the place to go for all of your needs: business cards, autograph cards, phone cases. Everything can be customized with your picture, your title, so be sure to check it out. And we want to say thank you to Pageant Papery, our fabulous sponsor for this evening. And I have to ask you, have you seen our website? It is amazing, PageantLIVE.com. It's only been up for about 3 weeks, and we've already gotten over 19,000 hits. So that is incredible. So I want to say thanks, viewers, for checking us out and watching all of our shows. Thanks to you guys. You are what makes us, and we really appreciate you. I want to tell you a little bit about some of the features of our new website. We have a pageant showcase. So if you are interested in competing, you want to learn some more about different pageant systems, check out the showcase. We have a variety of pageant systems listed there. You can click on the links and find out more information. Also, if you are a director and you would like to advertise your pageant system on PageantLIVE.com, please shoot an email at show@PageantLIVE.com. It's free, and we'd love to include you in our showcase. Also, be sure to check out Ask the Crown. This is a very special place where you can come with any pageant question that you have. Email all questions to askthecrown@gmail.com. We will get your question up and answered. Whatever it may be, I'll check with directors, contestants, everyone within the industry, and get back to you with the best possible answers that I can. Be sure to check it out. Also, not everyone has the same opinion. If you want to share your opinion on some of the questions and answers that have been posted, we invite you to do so. It's a unique atmosphere where we can have a conversation and come up with some of the answers and questions that you may not be able to find an answer to. And also, I want to say thank you to Trinity of Nicole Miller Marketing for doing a fabulous job on the website. It looks fabulous, and also for creating the fabulous banners every week promoting our guests and the show. So thank you so much, Trinity of Nicole Miller Marketing. Also, I want to remind guests this evening, our live viewers, to, if you have a question for our panel, anyone on our panel, please post it to Pageant Live's Facebook page. Tweet it at Pageant Live or post it on YouTube. And now I want to introduce Pamela Pavette to you. She is Pageant Live's owner and producer. And now, Pam, I know that you have been down in South Carolina over the weekend, and you were visiting the host of Pageant Live, Paige Clark. And I was looking at some of her new photos from her photo shoot, and they are gorgeous. She looks so beautiful.
Yes, I was down there. She wanted to tell everyone hello. She's sorry she couldn't make it. Thank you very much to Stephanie for guest hosting for us, and also belated birthday to Stephanie. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
21, right, Chris?
Yes. We really, she had a great time. Of course, this is not about her, but she wants to thank you for being here. And also, Stephanie, she'd like to thank you also for the great job that you do guest hosting while she's down there studying. She's studying physical therapy, so she's really having to buckle down. So, but she sends her love to everyone. And thank you for asking.
We love you, Paige. And we're excited that you're doing such a fabulous job with all of your modeling and at school. And we're very excited. So keep sharing those awesome modeling. Come out on Facebook. Gorgeous. Okay, now, before we get started on our show's topic, we want to go around and have our guests introduce themselves to you. You can tell us your title, a little bit more about yourselves before we really delve into tonight's topic. So, Chris, let's begin with you.
Yeah, because I don't have a title.
That's right.
Chris,
He's the man in the house.
World's greatest person. No,
The world's greatest person. That's right.
Well, no, I have experienced pageant judging, and I've actually judged in all major systems, including Miss USA, Miss America, Mrs. America, Mrs. United States, and it's been an interesting ride as far as judging goes. And I also coach, and at the moment I'm coaching a Miss Southern Illinois contestant for Miss America, and a new client that I just took on in San Francisco, who has never been in a pageant before. So we're starting with gown shopping for her. So it's been an interesting ride.
Well, that's great.
Stephanie, let me ask Chris real quick. What do you think about our new Miss Universe? Was that not phenomenal?
That was an interesting. Yes. Okay. We really don't want to get into that. No. He's phenomenal. That was a night that a lot of us coaches and a lot of us in the judging business were a little confused, but it is what it is, and she's a beautiful Miss Universe. In fact, she'll be on the cover of Tiara magazine. Sherry's not going to be mad at me for saying that. Yes.
We love you, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Yes, Sherry is the best, and she's also my editor, which is really weird because she's 22 years old or 23 years old. And I'm also a writer for Tiara magazine, and I do a column every now and then called The Judge's Perspective, or the judge's point of view. So that's who I am.
Fabulous. He's fabulous articles.
I need to ask really fast though. Who was your pick for Miss Universe then?
Miss USA. Did you say that?
Yeah.
No, it was Miss Brazil. Miss Brazil.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So glad that you're with us tonight.
Well, thank you.
Marissa, let's move on to you.
Hi everyone. My name is Marissa Thomas, and the reigning stewardess is the Miss 2013. And I am just excited. My platform is on public service safety, and it primarily deals with seatbelt safety, wearing the seatbelt, buckle up, which is so important, and I deal with adolescents. And I am so excited about sharing the message with them, especially on distracted driving, and always remembering to wear their seatbelts when they're driving.
Well, that's wonderful, and you're doing great things with your title, and we're glad you're here tonight, Marissa. And let's move on to Shelby and Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle Heston, and I'm your Iowa Super Missus. I will be representing Iowa, obviously, at the America's Super Pageant this coming June. And my platform is car safety and seatbelt awareness.
Hi, I'm Shelby Heston, and I'm Iowa Super Miss Teen. And I'm doing the same thing as my mom. I'm going to the same pageant in June, and I'm doing seatbelt safety awareness also.
Yay, so glad you ladies are with us. See, we have a super show for everyone tonight. And now we'll move on to Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm one of my super misses. I'm going to the same pageant as everybody else. And really, if you don't wear your seatbelt after this episode, I don't know what to do for you.
That's all right, buckle up.
That's right.
Well, we're glad you're here. And now we'll move on to Victoria.
Hi, I'm Victoria, Minnesota Super Teen, and I'm also going to the America Super Pageant in June. And my platform is Get Up and Get Fit. It's about getting healthy, and it's more towards the teens of this generation because a lot of technology is used. And so I'm also promoting the seatbelt safety platform. But other than that, it's good to be on here.
Well, so glad you could join us tonight. We have a fabulous panel. So excited that they get to share their information with you. And you know, how many times have we gone to a pageant and seen competitors on stage and thought, oh my goodness, that poor girl, she doesn't know what she's doing. Perhaps it was even ourselves. I've showed up at pageants and I felt totally out of place, unprepared. And so tonight's show will address some of those issues and talk about the things that you need to know ahead of time. I feel that the majority of work to win the title is done before you even get to the pageant competition. So, Chris, I know you've judged quite a few pageants. You work with ladies as a coach. I'm sure you have many stories about ladies who are unprepared. But what can you share with us? Do you have any stories or what tips can you share with the viewers that they need to know before they compete?
Well, before they compete, you made a good point. You need to do a lot of research before you compete. And in a lot of pageant systems, your platform is going to be huge. But my biggest recommendation to somebody who has never done a pageant is to get with the director. The director of the pageants are the ones who really have their finger on the pulse of what needs to be done. They're the ones that can point you in the right direction. Usually there's formers that they have that you can consult. The formers will do workshops where you can go. I mean, get as much information as you can from your director. And if it's a really good director, she'll offer all that information. The other end of it is, go get yourself a coach. And a coach can be a very valuable asset because a coach either has been there or knows this business inside and out, know what it takes to win. And I have seen a lot of things, and I have seen girls that are totally prepared, and I've seen girls that are unprepared in an embarrassing way. And yet, I always say this, because what the ladies and what the girls do, what pageantry is all about, it is all about giving back and the amount of things that and the hours that you all give back to the community, and a lot of people don't see that. That being said, whenever anybody sits in front of me in the interview room or the interview process of a pageant, I always make sure that no matter how they look, no matter how they act, they always leave my table feeling good about themselves, because it's a learning experience. And so if they can leave my table feeling good about themselves and with a smile, then there's hope that they'll learn, they'll progress in the system, they'll want to come back. And that's very important.
Absolutely. Now as a judge, what is the number one thing that's going to tell you if a contestant is prepared? I mean, what's the number one thing you look for?
Well, there's more than just number one things, but a lot of it comes down to that interview, really, because if you're not prepared for an interview, and I can tell a lot of people, okay, when the directors say the judges will ask you questions from your bio, don't always assume that, because I'm not that kind of judge. Yeah, I'll read your bio, I'll look over your bio, but your bio isn't going to tell me the kind of person you are. So I'm going to ask you questions that are going to bring out your interviewee and to show me your personality, and really to show me that you would make a great title holder for that pageant system or for that title. I mean, it's all about that interview. I stress that it's usually 50% of your score in pageantry. So I'm a good pageant. I'm a good interview coach as well as an interview judge.
I bet you are.
Yes.
Well, now let me ask this, okay? As a judge, when you meet with ladies and you interview them, do you kind of form an opinion about them? I mean, what you learn about them in the interview, does that kind of shape the scores you give them for the rest of the areas of competition?
Yes. And again, based on tonight's theme of shows, a lot of first-time girls, a lot of first-time women will surprise even themselves and win a pageant because they're not being influenced. They're being themselves, first of all, and so you have that kind of like innocence where they're not subjected to. Let's face it, there are some women that will stay in a system and they will stay in that system until they win that title, whether it's 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. They want that title. Every once in a while, you'll get a new girl come in or a new woman come into it, and she wins because everybody sees her for genuine. She doesn't really know how to act. She doesn't know how to hold herself. She doesn't know how to walk right, but still, there's a certain, I don't know, like I said, innocence there that can make all the difference. And again, I've been in such long interviews with so many women, 60 women, 70 women in the Midwest. By the end of the day, you're ready to give up. And then in comes that one girl that just, oh my God, oh my goodness, this is your winner right here. This is the girl that's going to do it because they have a look. There's a look. There's something in the eyes or something in their smile that you just know. So a lot of girls are upset when they're first in interview. A lot are upset when they're last in interview. It just goes to show you that first or last, it's really not as important as who you are at that interview and who you are at that pageant. Because it does. There's a glow about you. It shines. So it's your inner light. It's your inner light.
So how can, as contestants, I know we all want that. We want the judges to see that. How do you recommend, having that light shine? What can we do? How can we be that one? What's
the wow factor? Is that what you say? Well, the wow factor article is in this next issue of Tiara, so you're going to have to wait. No, just kidding. We all have the wow factor. You all have the wow factor. Everyone has a wow factor inside them. On that particular day, it's really going to go to the girls who are able to let that shine. And really, it's hard to put your finger on because the wow factor comes from the heart. If your heart is in the right place, the smile in your heart will come out on your face and through your eyes. And there is. It's weird, but there's a certain light on that particular day for that particular girl that shines, and it could mean the difference between winner and first runner-up. So really hard to bring it out. There's no really clear way to bring that out to someone. Well,
I know we love having your perspective, being a coach and a judge. And, being a coach, I'm sure you recommend to women it's important to have a coach. But, do you see that across the board? Do women generally do better, the ones that do have a coach?
I think so, especially your first-timers, because they really don't know which way to turn. A couple of years ago in Arizona, last minute, a woman entered the pageant, and a friend of mine and myself took her under our wing, and you know what? She was so lost, but by the end of it, she had a great experience. Did she win? No. Did she place? No. But she had such a great experience that she certainly wanted to come back. She only gave herself 10 days of preparation.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was a lot to do in 10 days.
Absolutely, that's for sure.
Chris, let me ask you real quick. What do you recommend to people? Some people just can't afford a coach. Yeah, what do you recommend to those people?
That's where you'll have to find the formers or find people who have been in that pageant. And again, go back to the director. The director, if she's a good director, will be able to point you towards someone who will give you that advice. If they offer workshops, go to the workshops. Participate. That's how you can learn and know what's expected. Watch the YouTube videos on learning how to walk. I coach how to walk. All right, it's really weird.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna.
Me too.
But you know, I've had husbands sit in my studio or my apartment, watch ESPN while I'm coaching their wives, and then it comes down to coaching that walk, and they give me that look like, oh brother, you know. So again, it's all part of it, and how I know all this, I don't know. I think I'm the daughter my mother never had. I really do. That's what I do.
But you have a crown. Show it to us.
That's right. It's a little crown. It's a little crown. A tiny crown necklace.
There it is.
It's solid something, I'm sure. It's very hard. That was given to me by my friends in Tennessee. I'll give a shout out to this Tennessee America program because those girls are the best. They came to my side when I was in the hospital down there, and even the doctor said to me, "My, you have pretty friends," and I'm like, "Oh, there it goes." So
we'd love to have them on the show.
there you go.
Come on, girls.
Definitely.
Girls and guys.
Well, those are great tips, Chris.
Thank you
for sharing them. And Marissa, what about you? How do you feel about everything? And what are some tips that you can share with everyone? What do you need to know before?
Well, I absolutely agree with what Chris said. Preparation is the key to making sure that you get the most out of the pageantry experience. And from YouTube videos to obtaining a coach if you want, to leaning on those that have been in the pageant experience for years, all those combined are excellent ways of getting an outstanding pageant experience and not only helping the person, the individual, to the best that they could be.
Absolutely, I agree. And I like how you said preparation is the key, and it's so true. So true. And, you know, so many times we see people going into pageants and they're not prepared and they haven't done much beforehand. So, you know, that's great advice. Great advice. Absolutely. And Michelle and Shelby, what do you ladies think?
Well, you know, up until 3 years ago, I hadn't even been in the pageant world. So I had the experience of coming in and not knowing anything. I had talked to my director and she was very good about giving me some tips. But, you know, there's just all kinds of stuff that you don't realize when you get to pageant week or pageant weekend. And so I kind of took the role of I was just going to be a mockingbird. And I just kind of watched how everybody did things. And obviously I didn't win, but what I took away from the pageant was just being able to start something and accomplish something. And that was really what I was looking for to begin with. I think that I have been to pageants so far, and this is my third one, and I have employed a coach, and she has made a world of difference. So, I mean, for me, I think finding the right coach for you, because I looked around for coaches, but I had to find the right fit for me. I think that is really a good place to start if you can, because coaching can be expensive. Talk to other people, like Chris said, that's in the pageant, and utilize all your options. Like I looked at YouTube videos and all that stuff and just talked to other people and made friends. So I think that your contacts, if you can get yourself out there and make some contacts, that's a really good place to start. And that's how I did it on Facebook. Facebook was a really good tool that I used, meeting other people in the same pageant system. And just like knowing your pageant, because like when I went to my first pageant, I really didn't have a lot of idea on what it was like, and it was a pretty big pageant. So knowing the type of pageant, what you're going for, what your judge expects, or not your judge, I'm sorry, your director is expecting is a really good place to start.
Excuse me, let me ask you, you said about your coaches. Did you actually interview your coaches prior to starting to work with them?
actually, I did contact quite a few different coaches and talk to some coaches. And I'm a real big people feeler. I want to be able to connect with somebody. And so, yeah, I did kind of do that. And so my coach was a good fit for me. I really love her. She's just no nonsense, right to the point, and we get along really well. And so for me, yeah, that was a big thing.
Absolutely, and I loved how you said that, and Pam, that you questioned that too. You know, it is important to find the right fit with a coach, you know, and everyone has different personalities, and you're not going to click with everyone. So it's important to interview coaches and find someone that you can work with, you know, and I think people are so willing to invest lots of money in gowns and clothes. But when it comes to a coach, say, oh, I don't need a coach, I can't afford a coach. But, you know, it's an investment in you, in preparing you, and making you the best you that you can be. So I personally am all for having a pageant coach.
But to go back, if you can't afford a coach,
Right.
do tons of research. That's what I hear you guys saying.
Absolutely.
Watch YouTube, go to the director, go to the workshop. Is that correct? In other words, you have to probably do a little bit more studying than you get a very intense study with your coach. You know what I'm saying? But if you can't afford one, that's what I'm hearing you guys say. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Here in Iowa, we're kind of like stuck. We're stuck from the South where there's big pageants, and Minnesota. And there's really not a lot of people that are into pageantry. And the more that I'm kind of getting into it, the more that I'm seeing a need for things, because like we do have Miss America come to Newton, and then NAM comes here. And so I'm finding a lot of people are like Facebooking me and asking me questions. And so I think if you can find somebody that's willing to talk and share their experiences with you, that is a really big help. Kind of give you an idea of what you're doing, what to look for, where to go.
Right.
If I can just throw something in there, a lot of people will refer like me to someone because some of the women I deal with have a fashion background and maybe they were runway models. I mostly coach married women, or you know, the Mrs. part of it. And I'll coach just about anyone, but let's just stay with the Mrs. for a minute. Maybe in their younger days they were runway models or they were swimsuit models. But now they've decided to go the pageant route. Well, when you're a runway model or a swimsuit or a fitness model, you don't have to learn interview. So a lot of women will contact me just to work with them over the phone on interview because they have zero skills in that. And I've taken some women from hardly the ability to talk to me on the phone to a full-blown interview. So, you know, it all comes in bits and pieces. Sometimes we're better in some things than the other. So every once in a while, most of my business comes from the interview side of it because they know I'm a good interview coach. And so I'll do more interview coaching than I will anything else. But I love doing it all, don't get me wrong. I love gown shopping. I
was getting ready to say that.
There you go.
You love the gown, you're the gown judge.
I'm a tough gown judge as well because, you know, again, a lot of first-time pageant girls have to remember, you know, I've seen women win national pageants in $10,000 gowns, and I've seen them win in $60 gowns. The judges don't know what designer you're wearing. It's more important to pick the gown that's right for you, right for your hair color, your eye color, but more importantly, you got to become one with your seamstress, because if that gown doesn't fit the way it's supposed to fit, and that line, what I call the line when I judge, and that's a fine line too, because it's a line that a woman has in an evening gown that starts at her shoulder and goes all the way to her feet. And if that line is not there, and if there's something in the way, a bump, a piece of clothing underneath that's not supposed to be there that causes a crease or something, that's going to detract points. That gown has to move with you. It's got to be part of you. And so really, $10,000 for an evening gown isn't necessary. Then the fit is more important, and the way that gown fits you. So I just thought I'd throw that in.
So true. And yes, having a fabulous seamstress, so important, so important. And again, with choosing the gown, I want to stress to people, it's not a matter of, oh, I love this gown. This is the gown I want to wear. You need to research your system, what the system is looking for, what looks good on you and your body type.
Right.
The gown that I won my last pageant in, it would not have been a gown that I would have chosen to wear because I'm in love with it, but I chose it because it fit my body type, which worked for me and helped me to win my pageant. So that's important points to remember too. Something that you happen to like, a lot of research has to be done before that.
Right.
Well, Shelby, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yes. Also, you can use your school programs to help you. Like at my school, we're starting a new thing where they choose different kind of students, and it helps with presentations, getting out of your shell a little bit, and they do it once a week. And it's a good program to help you get out of your shell, and so you enjoy it. And
that sounds like a great program.
Yeah, it is a great program.
More of those. Absolutely. I think so many young people could benefit from that. What is your program called, or how would you find out if your school has a program like that?
It's actually, it's pretty new to Iowa. Our school is the first school in Iowa offering it. And I really can't remember the name of it, but the point is that they choose certain kids in the school that they think, it's a leadership program, and the kids that they think would benefit and do a good job, and then they take them and they teach them how to do interviews and presentations and put together PowerPoints and things that would help them in their career path.
That's incredible. I think everyone should have to go through that. Important life skills you can use forever.
Absolutely.
Most definitely, most definitely. And now let's move on to Nicole. Nicole, what tips do you have for our viewers?
Well, actually, in college, I also took a leadership class. It was optional. So I would definitely look in to see if your school has something like that, because it could just be one of those things where not a lot of kids do it. I was the only one in my graduating class who graduated with the completion of the program. So I think that was a good thing to share. But I was also, when I first started, I was on my third one, I kind of just jumped in. I got a flyer in the mail about a pageant. I was like, all right, let's see how this goes. So I was probably one of those girls where they're like, what the heck are you doing? But I did. I watched the pageants on TV. I YouTubed pageant walks and the swimsuit competition and everything. So at least I wasn't going in completely clueless, because I did do research, but the research you do and then actually competing, it's like a completely different world, I think. I was pretty surprised.
Well, that's good. Yep, watching those YouTube videos, I've watched a lot of those. And another thing I think is helpful for people going into a certain pageant system is to get the DVD from last year, the previous year or years, and watch that. And, what types of winners did they choose? How did they walk? What were they wearing? I think those are all great tools as well.
Oh, and don't forget to watch Pageant Live. We have people doing that.
That's right.
These tips.
Absolutely. Yes, we have so many topics and so many guests sharing information. I mean, you can come and look through all of our past shows and, find so many different things and, how to get appearances and sponsors and what to wear. And so, there's so much information, right here. Absolutely. And
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say that there's also a lot of former beauty queens that write books, and some of those books have a lot of knowledge in them, and they're helpful. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's another, you guys have so many great ideas. So many great ideas for everyone to check out. Love it. Victoria, what would you like to add?
Well, I definitely agree with the interview. That's definitely one of the most important parts. But I have to say, also, don't spend a lot of money on a gown for your first pageant. That was my mistake. We spent a couple $1,000 on a gown. And, I mean, I got a coach and everything, but I definitely probably could have used more of that money towards the coach. And with this year, I just went gown shopping in January. And I have to say, you make the gown. The gown doesn't make you. Because there was a gown that I absolutely fell in love with, and when I tried it on, it looked horrible. And so my last pick, the gown that my mom and everybody loved, that was the gown I ended up getting because it looked right with my body type, and it just, everything kind of went together, and you know which one that is, and it doesn't matter what the monetary value is. And that's one of the big things also. It doesn't matter how much the gown costs, just if you're happy with it and if it makes you look good, I would definitely try and get that one.
Excuse me, Victoria, I have to say though, people have to know the difference between a prom dress and a pageant gown. Would you guys
Well, I mean, I was at a place specifically for pageant gowns, but I'd have to say, get to know, of course, what your pageant is looking for, and get to know and try and find a gown within that area. Like for glitz, make sure you look within the glitz gowns, not the natural. I would definitely get to know what your director is looking for with the gowns. So that's also a good thing.
Yeah, great point. Yep, you make the gown doesn't make you. Absolutely. I can tell you, my gown at my pageant that I wore last year was $235, and I won overall gown. So it has nothing to do with the price of the gown at all. I can tell you that. Great tips. Does anyone else have anything they want to add, or any last stories, anything else for our viewers before we wrap up?
I always have stories, Stephanie.
Let me mute him.
No, that's okay. I'm good right now. I'm good.
But you know what? I think to recap the whole thing, I would say that what I've heard is a lot of good information. Stephanie, go ahead and recap everything that we've heard for these great tips for people, that you don't necessarily need a coach. You do need a coach, but if you can't afford a coach, do a lot of research, a lot of extensive. Like Chris said, you can go into a coach for just one area. You don't necessarily need the coach, overall. But go ahead.
Exactly. And I guess, Chris, you probably do a lot of coaching with people over the phone or maybe Skype who don't live close to you. I mean, that's an option too. You could contact a coach, someone that's good, that's familiar with your system. And, you don't have to live right next to them to do coaching with them.
No, you don't. Not with today's technology. They make it really easy. Really, the key to interview is like anything else in life. You just got to do it. You just got to talk. One of the tricks I use, not a trick, but a technique, when I start interview coaching on the phone, let's say, I just say to the person, how was your day? Tell me about your day. And what that does is that warms them up, it gets them going, tell me about your kids, tell me about your job, tell me anything. It just warms you up and gets you a little relaxed. And the same when pageant day comes. I can't go with you into that interview room, but certainly a half an hour before your interview, I can stand there and talk to you and get you relaxed just by saying, tell me what's new. How did you sleep last night? So it's all a matter of just speaking to someone, get them to talk, and then the technique I use is I start working my pageant questions, my judging questions into that interview so that they don't even know it's happening, but yet you're answering the questions. So that when I eventually stop you and said, you realize you just answered 5 questions in the last 10 minutes? They have no idea they did, but they did, and they did a good job. So there's a technique to it, and if you're not ready for it, it can be overwhelming, but it can be done. And I love that part of it. So.
Well, now, Chris, how do you feel about mock interviews? Do you have your clients participate in mock interviews before they go to their pageant?
It depends on the director. If I'm working with a woman or a girl, a young lady whose director is going to have mock interviews, I'll get calls every once in a while. Sometimes that's just not possible. But I recommend a mock interview, certainly. If you're in it to win it, then not a bad idea to get thrown in front of a few people for half an hour. You know, in the Miss America system on the state level, those are 10-minute interviews. They're 10-minute panel interviews, and that can be painful. That can be for both the girl and the judges, because, you know, within the first 2 minutes, you're going to know if this young lady has what it takes. And if she doesn't, then that's a long 8 minutes to bear. And it's just painful. So, but then there are some people who say a one-on-one for 4 minutes isn't enough to learn something about someone. So, again, you know, it's what the pageant is about. Miss America is about scholarship. It's about, you know, it's about learning. It's about the scholarships involved in Miss America. So those girls should be well-schooled and everything, and they all should be good interviews. So it depends on your system and really how much emphasis is put on interviewing. But there's so much more than that. You know, there's swimsuit, there's evening gown, there's fitness wear, there's just so much. There's hair, there's makeup, it can be overwhelming to a first timer. I think that's what I'm getting to. So if you don't do your homework, shame on you, because there's a lot of free resources out there.
Absolutely, yeah, and I love what you guys said. You know, the YouTube videos, contacting former actor, you know, reaching out to people. Absolutely, so many resources out there. You know, beyond just having a coach.
Subscribing to Tiara Magazine and reading my articles is a great way to do it.
And watching Pageant Live, I agree.
And watching
Live.
And Sherry's going to kill me because I forgot to grab my latest edition with my. No, I'm just kidding. But no, good stuff. Pageant Live rocks, definitely.
Woohoo! That's
so does Tiara Magazine.
Yes,
that's right. Yay! Well, fabulous.
And all of you young ladies to me, and all of you women, and well, you're all young ladies to me because I'm probably the oldest. Who just laughed, Stephanie? You're all beautiful. You're all beautiful inside and out. I love each and every one of you. How's that?
That is wonderful.
Thank you.
So glad you could join us tonight. So glad all of you join us tonight. So much. You guys had wonderful tips for our viewers, and thank you. Has anything else to add? We'll go around and give you a chance to wrap up and tell people how they can get a hold of you. If you have a website, an email address you want to supply people with, any last minute tips, and then if not, we'll move on to wrapping up.
Well, I have one thing. I thought it was really, I was at a pageant workshop for a different system probably a month ago, and the director of that pageant worked individually with every single girl in the pageant for the day of the pageant. And we did mock interviews, and I just thought that was so wonderful for her to put her time in to meet with all these girls to make sure that they were fully prepared for what they were doing. I think that just goes along again with doing your research. And if that thing, if you think you would benefit from that, you know, that might be something you'd want to look into too.
I also know there are.
So what I hear you guys saying also too, it's the responsibility of the pageant or the director to reach out to the people and let them know what their pageant system's all about also. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like, especially that, you know, you reached out, they worked with you, like Janet creates a rapport with everyone, and it really connects you to that system. So that's really, really great.
Right, and not all systems are equal, so be sure to check it out. Some directors, you know, won't help you at all. So, right, research the system and know your director.
Good advice.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we'll go around and give everyone a chance to wrap up. Any last minute things you want to tell us, how to get a hold of you? Chris, let's start with you.
Again, I'm really excited to be on Pageant Live. It's a really great show, and people really, we can reach out and touch as many people as we can in this business. And when I do workshops or when I speak to people about pageantry, it is about giving back, and it is about what all of you women do for the community and how it serves people. It's just not a swimsuit or whatever they want to call it. There's more to it. It's really a great way to give back to your community and to life. So as a judge, I'm really like excited, and I'm always proud of the winners, because I feel that everyone in the pageants are winners, no matter what the placing is, because they've all worked hard and there's so much to be proud of. So, and again, I'm very proud of all the contestants that I've judged, and I do try to let them know that what they're doing is good, and go away smiling. If anybody is interested in seeing me, geez, Facebook is the place to go. I'm sure you're on Facebook. I don't even know my Facebook address. I've been on there for so long I forgot it. But I have 2,300 pageant friends on there, so I'm sure you can track me down somehow. But yes, just go to Pageant Live on Facebook and they'll send you to me.
That's right. Just email show@PageantLive.com and we'll get you to them.
That's right. So thank you, Stephanie, and thanks everyone for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yep.
Come back anytime.
Thank you.
And Marissa, we'll move on to you.
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on tonight. I learned so much as well, and I am so excited about being in the America's Super Miss pageant, and also sharing with all the lovely ladies here as well. And I look forward to seeing everyone in June. And I think that it's a great pageant to express your whatever passion that you have for your platform. And the Janet here, the pageant director, she's awesome, and it's just a great pageant, and I just look forward to seeing everyone here.
Yay, well, we're so glad you joined us tonight, Marissa. Thank you so much. And we'll move on to Shelby and Michelle.
Well, I just want to say thanks for having us again. We enjoy this show so much. We look forward to Tuesday night, every Tuesday. I'm Michelle Heston. I'm your Iowa Super Misses of the America's Super Pageant. My platform is car awareness and seatbelt safety, and you can find me on Facebook. Go ahead and chat me up. If you friend me, I'll accept it, and can't wait to meet you.
I'm Shelby Heston. I was Super Teen. I'm going against seatbelt awareness, and you can also find me on Facebook, Shelby Heston.
Well, wonderful, and thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Thank you.
That was great to have you. And now we'll move on to Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole. You can find me on Facebook. You can just do a general Google search or you can general question as well. Our pageant platform is default safety. That also, which is a good research. Like, I try to give a lot of help to it. But thank you for having me. I love this show. I watch every episode also. Good research for everyone.
Well, that's wonderful, and thank you so much for joining us. So great to have you. And we'll move on to Victoria.
Well, I want to say thank you for having me, and I have to say, this is my second time on the show, and I learned something new every time. I have to say that I learned something new today. But you can try and find me on Facebook. I'm under like a code name, Mommy's Favorite Barrel. But if you go to pretty much any pageant person's Facebook, you'll probably find me. Or you can email me at mnsuperteen2013@gmail.com. Again, mnsuperteen2013@gmail.com. and I'm pretty much on there every day. I'm always on the computer. So thank you again for having me.
Oh, thank you, Victoria. It's always wonderful to have you on the show.
Well, thank you.
And again, I'm Stephanie McGrain, reminding you to always buckle up. I know according to the National Highway Traffic Administrator's annual survey, seatbelt use has steadily increased since 1994, when it was at 58%, to an all-time high of last year at 86%.
Wow.
So let's keep it increasing and let's get it to 100%.
That's right.
That's right.
And America's Super Pageant is looking for delegates to compete at the International Pageant, June 21st through the 23rd. If you are interested, please check us out at americasuperpageant.com and come find us on Facebook. Also, I want to give a big shout out to some of our faithful viewers. I want to say hello to Paul of Australia.
Hey, Paul.
And I want to say hi to Mario. And Mario, thank you for being a faithful viewer. And also to Pageant Live Princess Taikisha. Hi, Taikisha. And I also want to give a big hello to the men and women of Afghanistan. It's come to my attention that we're having quite a few viewers from the Afghanistan area. Thanks for tuning in, and keep watching us, and we're glad to have you. Also, if you are interested in hosting Pageant Live, or if you have ideas for future topics of shows, please contact us at show@pageantlive.com. Send your pageant-related questions to askthecrown@gmail.com. We'll get those posted on Pageant Live. And if you are a director and you'd like to advertise your pageant system on Pageant Live, please email show@pageantlive.com. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central, for Pageant Live. And Pam, I'm going to throw it over to you for any last-minute words.
I want to thank everyone for coming. We would not be anything without you. I do feel like, just like Chris said, that you work very hard in the pageant industry. You don't get the recognition you deserve. This is good, positive things that are going on. And you know what? I really applaud you. We need more people giving back and watching positive things and being positive people. So I really appreciate everything that you do for your community, yourself, your family. And I do thank you very much for coming on the show. We do look for sponsors. We do have sponsors on at www.pageantlive.com. If you're interested in being one of our sponsors, let us know. Like Stephanie said, we have like almost 19,000 hits in 3 weeks. So you know what? We're doing something right. Shout out to Tierra Magazine. We love you, Sherry. Come on anytime. We would love to have you. Thank you for letting us have Chris. Borrowing him for the evening. I'm sure you'll get him later. But you know what? I want to thank the viewers, and I want to thank everyone. And you know what? Please, you can either email us at show@pageantlive.com. You can tweet to us at PageantLive, or you can just go to www.pageantlive.com and leave a message. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you to my guests.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.